This new Chelsea under Liam Rosenior is not normal. 6 wins in 7 matches, 5 in a row. And the clearest proof came against West Ham, a night when Chelsea fell apart, pulled themselves back together, and rewrote their own limits. It was a match that contained everything English football does best at its most unforgiving: chaos, raw intensity, fierce duels, and a red card wrapped in controversy. But above all, it was the night Chelsea didn't just take 3 points. They rewrote their own Premier League history. For the first time ever, the Blues won a league match after trailing 2-0 at halftime. And the architect of that historic turnaround was Liam Rosenior, a young head coach quietly building something bold, fearless, and unmistakably his at Stamford Bridge. Before the opening whistle, Chelsea walked onto the pitch full of confidence. A gritty 3-2 win over Napoli in Europe during midweek had lifted spirits, and belief in the squad's depth was sky high. That confidence pushed Liam Rosenior into a bold call: 7 changes to the starting 11. On paper, it made sense. Rotate the squad, protect key players, and manage energy in a long, brutal season. But football doesn't care much for theory. The first 45 minutes felt like a bucket of cold water thrown straight at Chelsea's plans. With so many changes, the Blues looked disjointed and fragile. From the first kick, nothing flowed. The lines were stretched, the connections were missing, and Chelsea simply couldn't cope with a West Ham side playing with hunger and intent. While the hosts stumbled, West Ham came out swinging. This was a derby, and they treated it like one. No caution, no feeling their way into the game, just relentless high pressing from the opening seconds. Chelsea were pushed back, rushed, and uncomfortable all over the pitch. The cracks in Chelsea's defensive shape were obvious, especially down the left side. Jorel Hato and Alejandro Garnacho were constantly dragged into 2-versus-1 situations by the clever movement of Jarrod Bowen and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. West Ham's rotations were sharp and deliberate, stretching Chelsea's backline until it snapped. 7 minutes in, disaster struck. Bowen delivered a wicked cross from the right, the kind that hangs in the air just long enough to cause chaos. And somehow it drifted all the way into the far corner. The keeper was left rooted to the spot. The early goal didn't wake Chelsea up. If anything, it exposed how lost they were. And in the 36th minute, it happened again. Bowen slipped a perfectly weighted pass into Wan-Bissaka's path. The low ball across the box wiped out the entire Chelsea defense, and Crescencio Somerville arrived unmarked to double the lead. When the halftime whistle blew, Stamford Bridge felt heavy. The boos rang out from every corner of the stadium, a harsh verdict on a lifeless performance. Chelsea's expected goals after 45 minutes, just 0.28, a brutal number that said everything about how toothless they had been. As the teams walked off, it felt like West Ham had one foot already out the door with a statement win, while Chelsea were staring at another long, painful Premier League night. But right there, on the edge of the abyss, was where the manager's role mattered most. Liam Rosenior knew one thing for sure: if Chelsea kept doing the same things in the second half, there would be no comeback, no hope, and no way back into the game. The moment the second half kicked off, Rosenior went all in. A brave, almost surgical overhaul, 3 key changes at once. Marc Cucurella replaced Hato, Wesley Fofana came on for Badiashile, and João Pedro took Garnacho's place. This wasn't just about fresh legs, it was a complete reset of how Chelsea wanted to play. The DNA of the team changed instantly. The defensive line pushed higher. The wingers held the width. The ball moved faster, much faster. João Pedro became the key, drifting freely between the lines, pulling West Ham's defenders out of position. Cucurella didn't just stay wide either. He stepped inside like an extra midfielder in possession, giving Chelsea a numerical advantage in the middle of the pitch. West Ham couldn't adjust. Chelsea went from slow and predictable to sharp, direct, and full of energy. Wave after wave of attacks crashing forward. Rosenior's reading of the game wasn't just impressive, it showed up on the scoreboard. All 3 substitutes played a direct role in the goals, something you almost never see at the highest level. In the 57th minute, Wesley Fofana delivered a perfect cross, and João Pedro rose above everyone to head home, and make it 2-1. Hope rushed back into Stamford Bridge. The crowd woke up, the belief returned, and suddenly, West Ham were pinned deep, defending for their lives. Then came minute 70. The pressure was suffocating. Cucurella ghosted into the box at the perfect moment and powered a header past the goalkeeper. 2-2. Stamford Bridge exploded. This was a completely different Chelsea. Under Rosenior in the second half, they dominated the ball and squeezed West Ham so deep that the visitors barely had room to breathe. Chelsea completed 673 passes, more than in any game they'd played all season. The numbers told the story, a total transformation from passive to commanding. And the final moment arrived in stoppage time. In the 90-plus second minute, Captain Enzo Fernandez marked his 150th appearance for the club with ice in his veins, finishing calmly to complete a miraculous comeback. That goal wasn't just worth 3 points. It ended a run of 56 Premier League matches in which Chelsea had failed to win after trailing by 2 goals at halftime. More than anything, it was proof of a team guided by a manager who was brave, precise, and ruthless with every decision he made. Rosenior didn't just rescue a match. He's building something far deeper at Stamford Bridge. His Chelsea may make mistakes. They may start games badly. But one thing is clear. This team refuses to quit. The fire they showed in the second half was the complete opposite of the lifeless first 45 minutes. And that contrast is the clearest sign of a team moving in the right direction under a gifted manager. In modern football, smart substitutions are an art form. On this night, Rosenior proved he is a master of it. He turned a 15-minute halftime break into a moment of rebirth for an entire squad. But the drama at Stamford Bridge didn't stop with tactics and goals. As the match entered stoppage time, tension boiled over into chaos after a heavy collision between Adama Traoré and Marc Cucurella. Tempers flared. Traoré lost control and slammed Cucurella to the ground, sparking a mass confrontation between players from both sides. The chaos peaked when Jean-Claire Todibo lashed out at João Pedro, forcing referee Anthony Taylor to consult VAR before showing a straight red card to the West Ham defender. The game ended in a suffocating atmosphere, filled with fouls, cards, and raw emotion. But Chelsea stood firm and protected their miracle in front of a roaring home crowd. This 3-2 victory did more than deliver 3 precious points and lift Chelsea into 4th place. It sent a powerful message about the character, belief, and resilience of this team. From the depths of frustration, Chelsea pulled themselves back through courage and conviction. A new chapter in Chelsea's Premier League story has officially begun, and it carries the clear imprint of Liam Rosenior, a young coach shaping his own legacy at one of the biggest clubs in the world. This match will be remembered as one of the league's most emotional and chaotic comebacks, a night where the art of substitution overcame every obstacle.